moments ago. Would you like to hear that?
Sure, of course.
Me too. Spin it, boys.
Thanks a lot, EJ. Joining me is AI, Allen Iverson, and obviously, Allen, tonight, a very big game considering the tough loss against Boston. How big is tonight's game?
Obviously, it's the biggest game of the season for us. This is a must game. We can pull further away from Jersey. It'll help us. It'll make it better for the game that we got to play in Jersey against those guys.
You know, Doug Collins always says that you're one of the toughest point guards or one of the toughest guards physically, taking the pounding that you do all season long. I know that you had problems with your thumbs. Physically, are you 100%? Where are you at?
I'm not 100%. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to give them anything to thrive off, but I'm not 100%. Obviously, my thumbs are bothering me. I got knocked down in the last game real bad, and I swelled my back up. But I mean, it's basketball. Yeah, I mean, once the ball go up in the air, then you hope your adrenaline takes over that, and you just try to just think about the agenda at hand, and that's getting the win. And once the ball go up, I wouldn't be thinking about none of these injuries.
You know, this is obviously an important game, and also the last question is, this is Shaq's first game back since the stomach virus. What are the keys for tonight?
I think it's just going to be important for you know, us to try to run them, just get stops and try to get up and down the court and run random pick and rolls and just get out on the break as much as we can, try to run Shaq up and down the court. Hopefully his condition is not where it needs to be. And, you know, we got to do everything that it takes to get a win. I think if we play team basketball and understand that the only way we're going to get out of here with a win is to play team ball, then we can get it done. Sky's the limit for us.
All right, thanks for your time. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks.
All right, EJ, must win for Philly. Let's send it back to you in our studio.
And stunning to see the protege, Damon Jones, angling for airtime as he walks in with
He said
Shaq.
it's Batman, Flash, and he's Robin.
First of all, he
says that. He says that.
He says that.
He's not Robin.
That's what he says. I'm just saying what he says.
No
kidding.
He's like the guy who, what was the butler's name?
Alfred.
Alfred. He's Alfred.
He's Alfred.
He's Alfred. He's not Batman or Robin or Flash. He's Alfred.
Shaq says it proves that he's human after all. He's missed 3 games. He's been really suffering with the stomach thing, but and he says, I don't know how it is with you earthlings, but where I'm from, strength is mental. So he figures he will be strong tonight as he comes back against Philadelphia.
I think it's been a blessing for the Heat because, as I said 6 weeks ago, they're not going to beat Detroit unless Alonzo Mourning plays quality minutes. So this has been a great time for him. Shaq has plenty of time to get his act together physically because you can't, no matter if you sit out, you got to be in shape to play basketball. But I think it's going to be a blessing for Alonzo Mourning because they cannot, I'm going to repeat it again, they cannot beat Detroit unless Alonzo Mourning plays well.
Also, too, it's good because they get a chance to know that in the playoffs they're going to have to play without Shaq anyway sometime. So whether that's foul trouble, so Charles makes a good point. But I think the key here for them is just to maintain rhythm.
There you go. There, that's a good one. Get another one here. Get one like this. That's what I'm talking about. I can't concentrate right now.
I always wondered what Bree did around here.
I'm sorry. She
takes care of all of us.
That's what she's normally sitting around in the back doing nothing.
Takes good care
with a capital
of
N.
Hey, I hate to get things back to normal here, but hey, the news on Eddie Curry. Did you hear this out of Chicago? He is out.
Collins and Hall of Famer Cheryl Miller. This is Kevin Harlan. A pleasant good evening from Philadelphia. Let's take a look at our opening lineups brought to you by McDonald's. Eddie Jones, Udonis Haslem, Shaq with Damon Jones and Dwayne Wade, Kyle Korver, Chris Webber, Samuel Dalembert, Andre Iguodala, along with Allen Iverson. And one of the matchups you're going to be watching tonight, Doug, Shaq against the newest member of the Philadelphia 76ers, Chris Webber.
Well, you know, Kevin, when we talked to Jim O'Brien before the game, the coach of the 76ers, we asked him about matchups. He said, I'm going to start Webber on Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to give him a lot of different looks. We're going to front him. We're going to have to decide when we're going to double team, from what spot, so that you mix up your looks against him. He does not want Sam Dalembert to play against Shaq. He didn't want to get him in foul trouble, and he feels like maybe he can help, you know, blocking shots off the basketball and his rebounding. Plus, he wants Sam Dalembert to sprint and run the floor every time, maybe wear Shaq out. We know that Shaq has been sick. His conditioning is down a little bit, so they're going to want to keep the pace of this game up as much as they can.
You know, we know that Shaq came into this season, Doug, weighing about 25 pounds less than a year ago when he played for the Los Angeles Lakers. He says he has lost 7 to 10 pounds over the last week. Look how thin he looks now. I think as thin as he looked when he was a rookie with the Orlando Magic.
Well, I think that you heard Charles talking about it in the studio before the game. I think this gave Shaq an opportunity also. You don't want to miss games, but to rest a little bit. They've got 5 games here remaining, and they're big games, Kevin. They would like to get the best record they possibly can, maybe not better than Phoenix, but San Antonio in case they would meet in the NBA Finals. So these games finishing are important. And Magic said they've got to get back the rhythm. Shaq is out of rhythm. Their team is out of rhythm because they've had some players miss games. Also, Haslem missed some games.
Here's Korver with the 2-point shot for Philly. He's a great 3-point shooter, picked up by Wade. Our officials tonight, Bennett Salvatore, Mark Wunderlich, and Robbie Robinson. And outside, this is Wade, who is coming off a couple of so-so games, 2 consecutive losses for Miami coming into tonight.
Well, great matchup there. He and Andre Iguodala, one of the better defenders in the league. We'll have to watch that matchup.
This is Weber on Udonis Haslem, and he finds 2 with a good move inside. It's important for him to kind of get off on the right foot. He has been booed here of late in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he struggled in the fourth quarter the other night, a big game against Boston. He missed 3 free throws late in that game. The fans let him know. They're also the kind of fans, he comes out here, gives a great effort tonight in a big game. They'll be the first one to cheer for him as well. These are great fans. I played here. They love their basketball.
They loved Doug Collins, another hit for Wade from outside.
Well, you hope to make him a jump shooter. One of the big things is keep him off the foul line. Kevin, the last time these 2 teams played, he shot 23 free throws.
Iverson tries the reverse. Rebound picked up by Haslem and quickly triggers it out to Jones. A 3-on-2, then Philly back on defense. And putting it inside a laser pass. Jones to Jones. It was Damon to Eddie.
Well, Miami off to a great start. They've got their best player back, Shaq, and that gives you confidence. It's sort of like walking down the street and no bullies will pick on you anymore. You got the big man there with you to protect you.
It's Iverson into 2. And outside, the rookie from Arizona, Iguodala, and picked up by Damon Jones. A lead pass for Wade, who is quickly converged upon the reset as Miami comes in having clinched the best record in the Eastern Conference. As we said, Philly number 8. Oh, and slipping down is Wade. He went down hard. And there is a foul, and it's on Chris Webber. Philadelphia comes in just a game and a half on top of New Jersey, number 8 in the Eastern Conference.
Looks like his feet just slipped out from underneath him. They're going to call the hand check on Webber. That really wasn't a foul on Chris Webber. That was just, looked like Wade hit a slick spot. You see just going to go down. Maybe the left hand a little bit by Webber. Right there you see a little bit of the left hand, but I don't think that caused the fall. It was more him slipping on his own.
And Shaq inside with a great entry pass by Udonis Haslem.
Well, Shaq just distorts the game so much when you throw the ball inside to him. If Weber's going to lay in there behind him, it's going to be a long, long night. He's going to have to try to prevent him from catching the ball.
And here's Weber from outside, who is 3 of 10 in the loss that the Sixers suffered here Tuesday night against the Boston Celtics. A crushing blow for Philadelphia. And we just mentioned that 2 straight losses brings Miami here into Philadelphia. As Wade was driving, there is a quick foul, and it's thrown inside. They put it on Dalembert for the first time for the 76ers.
Well, you look at Allen Iverson right now. He is very upset. I've just watched him the last couple possessions. He is not happy with the way his team has come out tonight. This is a game, you heard him talking to Cheryl Miller before the game. It's a must-win for them now. Obviously, if they don't win, it doesn't eliminate them. But their next 2 games are at Indiana, at New Jersey. All of a sudden, you lose 4 in a row. You play yourself right out of a playoff spot. I don't see the intensity in Philadelphia right now. They're on their heels. This is their home court. You've got to get this crowd involved in the game. They're coming off a heartbreaking loss to their arch rival Boston Celtics. They need to give this crowd something to cheer about.
So Miami has made every shot so far. 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Philly has started 1 of 5. And Iguodala finding a little bit of crack and works inside on Shaq, and the ball knocked out of bounds in 7 seconds to shoot.
Well, you saw the presence of Shaquille O'Neal. Looked like Andre Iguodala had a shot right at the basket at the last minute. Shaq came over and forced him to change it, so does not get a block shot, but he got an altered shot.
Allen Iverson. And Miami has gotten every rebound so far. 5-0 on the glass for the Heat over the Sixers, and this is Wade on Iguodala, who usually draws the toughest assignment with his defense for Philadelphia. That's out of bounds and off of Dalembert.
Well, Sam Dalembert has had a great year. Kevin. He's long, he's lanky, he runs well, he blocks shots. Sometimes he struggles catching that basketball. He fumbles a lot of passes. That time he just knocked the ball off his own hand out of bounds.
A late nothing run by Miami. They go inside to the double team. Shaquille O'Neal with a great fake and a sledgehammer.
I think he's feeling better.
He looks very nimble.
Give me that flu. I'll take a dose of that right now.
Timeout take. Well, you're right in reading the body language of Iverson.
Yeah,
and Zoe is enjoying it on the Miami side, but Allen Iverson is ticked off. He is the unquestioned leader of the 76ers.
It's his competitive will and spirit that drives this team. He has to bring it tonight, and others have to follow. Shaquille O'Neal making a message. He's back, and they're still the best in the East.
Philadelphia, where the Miami Heat have a 10-point lead. Well, Kevin and Doug have already mentioned that the man of steel, Shaquille O'Neal, comes into tonight's game anywhere from 7 to 10 pounds lighter. Shaq did say that the worst part of the stomach virus was the loss of appetite, dehydration, and just generally feeling weak. He did say tonight his main focus was not trying to do anything stupid. That means no high-flying act. You certainly couldn't tell by that last dunk, but he really just wants to get himself into that pre-playoff killer mode. I did, guys, ask him if he thought that he could take the normal Shaq pounding tonight. He just grinned and said, we'll find out, guys.
He is the man of steel. Thank you, Cheryl. It's Iguodala inside. And it's off the fingertips of Weber, and neither team makes a change in their lineup out of that timeout. Game high 6 for Wade. Shaq, Doug Collins has started 2 of 2.
Well, you know, Kevin, when you watch the first few minutes of this game, you can see why Shaq is going to be the MVP of this league. I mean, Steve Nash has had a marvelous season. There's no question about it. But Shaq distorts the game like no other player in the league. What he does, now watch the ball goes in the post. Double team, somebody's going to get a layup.
What a pass.
Great passer. You know, he's going to find somebody with open shots. He's already forced 3 shots at the basket to be altered. I mean, when he's playing well and Wade's on his game, these role players, Miami is the best team in the East.
So this is the biggest score, 14-2 so far from Miami tonight. Leading by 12. Korver finds Dellenberg.
Nice little jump hook by Sam Dellenberg. This is a guy who really didn't play basketball much as a young player. Actually went to Seton Hall. My son Chris was there when he was recruited. Came in very, very raw.
What a nice catch. The ball knocked away. And Iguodala. Korver, a great three-point shooter.
Quick release. Kevin, if Philadelphia is going to win this game, 2 of the things they do well, they force turnovers and they convert in the open court. So keep your eye in that area. Can they force turnovers, get out and get in the transition game, get easy baskets? In the half court, they will struggle to score.
Shaq again, and they triple team him. Dwayne Lee, and a foul. Iguodala was in there, and I think he picks up the foul. He does. That's the first on him as you take a look at Jim O'Brien, and as you take a look at some of his keys tonight in defeating Miami.
Well, I just talked about force and convert on turnovers. They lead the NBA in forced turnovers. You got to keep Dwayne Wade out of the paint. He's 5th in the NBA in scoring in the paint. More importantly, you've got to keep him off the foul line. When he gets in the paint, then it's a chain reaction, and then Shaq starts to dominate inside. And it's got to be Allen Iverson's competitive spirit tonight. Last time these teams, when they played January 24th here, 45 points, and he carried this team on his back. He's going to have an incredible night tonight and find guys that will fill in and play with him and bring that same kind of winning spirit that he brings.
Wade with 7. Miami by 8. Weber with the shot clock at 8. Korver for 3. And a rebound by Shaq, and he does finally get it for Miami.
We'll have to keep our eye on Shaq, too. How much does he play before Stan Van Gundy gives him a rest? His conditioning is down.
Knocked away Weber and Dellenberg. Dellenberg, a top 20 block shot artist inside for the Philadelphia 76ers. The foul. It goes on Korver. As we take a look at some of the keys tonight for this Miami team, 18 wins, better now than they were at the same time a year ago.
Well, points in the paint normally define them. They're 48-12 when they win that battle. Transition defense, when they win the battle of the fast break, they're 29-9. And you've got to keep Allen Iverson off the free throw line. That 45-point game, he got there 19 times. And what happens is when he gets there, they get in the penalty early, and then other guys start shooting him, and those free throws mount up during the course of the game.
Well, you mentioned it. Magic talked about in our pregame show. Miami comes into tonight having lost 5 of 9. They're looking for, as Magic said, and you said, rhythm, some positive moves.
Yeah, Stan Van Gundy, when I talked to him before the game, he said, we got to get back to playing the way we were. Here's Korver with that quick release.
And off a nice screen.
They're running a lot of the sets now that Sacramento used to run with Weber, and you see it's Iverson and Korver, and in Sacramento, it was Bibby and Stojakovic. So they brought that set here and playing through Weber so that Iverson doesn't have to handle the ball so much.
And it's a 3 by Jones, one of the top 5 shooters in the history of Miami, shooting the 3 ball, and he knocks it in right there. Eddie Jones, in fact, 11th all-time in NBA history in making 3-point shots. Iguodala, Dalembert, and Korver. Nice pass inside to Iguodala. And here comes Damon Jones, a season ago with Milwaukee, having a career year in his first season with the Miami Heat. With the ball and on the move out of the University of Houston, rejected, counted for 2 in the goaltender.
Kevin, you said having a career year, Damon Jones. Well, you know what? You can say the same thing about Udonis Haslem,
exactly
Michael Doleac.
Right.
That's what Shaq has done. He's elevated all these guys' game. Here's Damon Jones, normally a 3-point shooter.
And Allen Iverson nails that from outside. His first 2. AI has started 1 of 3. And a look at Dwayne Wade out of Marquette University in Milwaukee.
A little frustrated the last couple games, not getting to the free throw line as much as he normally did. The other night, only 1 field goal against Detroit. Didn't speak to the media afterwards, which is very uncharacteristic of him.
Shaq across the lane, gets the loose ball, and does not beat the shot clock. It is the 2nd turnover for Miami, 1 so far on Philadelphia.
That's one of the first good defensive possessions that we've seen out of Philadelphia. You see Shaq taking an early seat, so Kevin played a little over 7 minutes, about 7 minutes and 9 seconds. Expect him maybe to get the rest of the quarter and then come in and see how quickly he recovers. That'll be the key.
Michael Doleac is in. Iguodala. Dalembert, oh, and a pretty pass, but a great catch by Dalembert.
Now watch what happens now. Watch that lane open up that Shaq is out. Now if you're Philadelphia, attack that basket. Shaquille O'Neal is on the bench. See if you can get to the free throw line, get some layups. Don't settle for long jump shots.
Philly has never led in this game. Jones to Haslem. Wade with a nice fake on Iverson and Weber, and rejected by Dalembert and picked up by Iguodala. Allen Iverson.
Again, block shots, forced turnovers, any kind of situation that they can get in the open floor, that's when Philadelphia is at their best. Kevin, on the season, they average about 17 points a game off turnovers, which is 4th best in the league. A block shot is like a turnover.
Miami has made the change for Shaq. Philadelphia still sticking with their starting 5. Haslem. And he's one of the top shooters in the NBA, usually inside the free throw line, but he does have that nice outside shot.
Well, all their power forwards can shoot the basketball. That's how this team is built. Haslem, you're going to see Leitner later. He's coming off the injured list. All of them can pass and make open shots. That's why they're on this team.
It's Weber. Each team has made 1 3-point shot so far in the game. A 3-on-3, and Damon Jones.
Well, Damon Jones, one of the better 3-point shooters. You talked about a career year, Kevin. What he brings to this team is an energy, but what he did as a starter, you get Wade off the basketball. Now Dooling off the bench gives him a lot of energy.
Here's Iverson. He's playing still with some banged up thumbs on both hands. And Damon Jones to Eddie Jones, and picked up by Kyle Korver.
Now, Iverson's a roamer, so somebody's going to get an open shot. He's always going to chase the ball. Damon Jones will get a lot of open shots because Iverson goes for steals.
Doleac the miss. Dalembert the Philadelphia rebound, and Philadelphia comes the other way with a 44% shooting mark so far in the first portion of this game. Iverson winds his way in for 2.
How did he do that? He was almost laid out at the basket, but again, no Shaquille O'Neal back there, so the basket is wide open. Doleac is not a shot blocker, neither is Haslem. Keep going to the basket.
Miami has made 10 of 14, 71%. A fan right there by Wade, an offensive rebound by Doleac, but he shoved someone to get in there and get that position. And it's a foul on Michael Doleac. That is the first foul of the game against Miami.
Well, you want to create opportunities if you are Philadelphia. You do it by getting in the open court. Iverson just sizing up. Damon Jones goes around him, lays himself out at the basket. The circus shot. Shaq is sat down, and Philadelphia is climbing back in the game. This was Mike Bibby out in Sacramento, and this is Peja Stojakovic. And they love to play off Weber. They would throw here. Iverson goes down, he sets the screen, and here comes Korver off for the shot, and that was Stojakovic. So what they've done is, this is Weber's strength. So put this in so he can excel. He's a great passer up at the top, and he's also a catch-and-shoot player. That's what he does best. He's no longer the low-post player that he used to be because he's lost the lift in his legs around the basket. Now he loves to float out on the floor, shoot jump shots, and he's an excellent passer. Very smart by Jim O'Brien to put these in. You see him again out on the floor, and he's looking to roll out and be able to shoot jump shots or make plays.
Weber had that microfracture surgery not long ago, a couple years ago. Spent last year rehabbing. Here's Iverson to Weber, and inside to Mark Jackson doing the game. And out there also Aaron McKee for the first time. Korver, that's the Philadelphia 5. Keon Dooling has come in for the first time for the Miami Heat. And Doliak continues to take the place as Shaq as Iverson had it. He's got 6 and now has 8, and that is a game-high 8 for Allen Iverson.
I really like what Philadelphia is doing now. They're recognizing Shaq not being in the game, and they're not shooting jump shots. Philadelphia's gone to Aaron McKee, who is one of their savvy players. Talked to Jim O'Brien. He said he's like a coach on the floor. He's got Wade and Mark Jackson, who ranks toughness in open shooting and rebounding off that bench.
Wade leads Miami with 7. This is a 3 by Eddie Jones. A loose ball inside, vacuumed in by Iverson. And the Sixers, who have never led and trailed by as many as 12, now to within 7. And inside to Mark Jackson, fouled by Eddie Jones. A little shove there by Mark Jackson at the end of that play. And a foul on Eddie Jones.
Little Temple love. Both those guys went to Temple together. We're playing a big game here now. Forget our school ties.
Jones picks up his first.
Eddie Jones was also a teammate of Aaron McKee. They were great at Temple together in that backcourt, along with Rick Brunson, playing for John Chaney.
A 3 by Iverson. And Allen Iverson takes the most shots from the field of any player in the NBA.
It's going to be interesting to see the swings in the score with Shaq sitting and with him playing. Right now, Philadelphia is making up that big lead with Shaq getting some rest.
Here's Dooling. Shot clock at 8 for Haslam, who hit his last shot, and fans right there, picked up by Iverson, who has scored the last 9 points for the Philadelphia 76ers. There are no fouls to give either way. Korver for 3.
Korver does a great job finding the open area for Iverson to get him the ball in penetration. Iverson and he have a wonderful chemistry with each other on the floor. Iverson really trusts him.
And they're on their feet here inside the Wachovia Center for the first time in a while. And here is Wade with McKee defending. And Korver with the rebound and Doliak with the shove. It is off Miami, and Philly will get it back. The 76ers have gone 22-16 at home. And Doug, they still have a chance, does Jim O'Brien's team, to win the Atlantic Division title. But they got to hope for a lot. Of course, winning the title gets them number 3 in the Eastern Conference. Boston currently number 1 in the Atlantic Division.
Well, that's a long, long shot for them now after losing the other night. They could pull within 1 game. That loss made it 3. And they've got a tough schedule ahead. I think right now Jimmy O'Brien just wants to be in the playoffs.
Iverson inside, diving into the defense of Miami, and a foul is called. They had Haslam and they had Doliak defending. And the foul on Doliak for the second time since taking the place is Shaq, who is on the bench. And when he left, Miami led by 10, and now the Miami lead is down to a point. Here is Allen Iverson for the Philadelphia 76ers. He is a guy that goes to the free throw line as much as any player in the NBA. Tomorrow night on ESPN, the Wizards will host the Cavaliers. The Lakers will take on the Kings. Saturday, NBA TV gives you Kings at Phoenix. Sunday on ABC, the Pistons host the Cavs, the Heat hosting the Indiana Pacers, or the Lakers taking on the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, congratulations to Eddie Jordan and the Washington Wizards last night to win. They got into the playoffs. Done a wonderful job with that team this year. Larry Hughes and Gilbert Arenas and Antoine Jameson, what they've meant to that team. Got a chance for the home court.
So the first free throws by Philadelphia gives them their first lead tonight. He's got a game-high 13. Miami trying to recapture the momentum after losing 5 of 9. Philadelphia fighting for a playoff slot. They're number 8 right now with the slim lead over New Jersey. At the end of 1, climbing back from 12 down, the Sixers lead by 1. Thursday with Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller. This is Kevin Harlan, the battle for number 8. A very tight jam. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the 76ers, and New Jersey.
Well, 76ers play a back-to-back. They go to Indiana tomorrow night. Tough game. The Nets are at Toronto. Vince Carter going back to the Air Canada Center. What a tough game that will be. The Cavaliers are playing at home tonight, losing right now by 3 in the second quarter to Cleveland, and they have a back-to-back at Washington. So none of these schedules get any easier for these teams.
Philadelphia closes that first quarter on a 12-0 run. Take a 1-point lead. Shaq is back in. And it's picked up by Allen Iverson. And Shandon Anderson knocked it away. A 3-on-1 with Dooling igniting it and going the other way and looking for Christian Laettner, who is back in there. And you see Iverson down and trying to get his wits about him. We have not seen Laettner since late March. He has been out with plantar fasciitis in his right foot. Practiced for the first time Tuesday. And here he is back. And we know that one of the things that Miami Doug is trying to do, having lost 5 of 9, heading to the end of the regular season, is to get that feeling, as you talked about before, get everybody healthy and back on that roster.
Well, they count on Late to help them a lot in the playoffs. You see Shaq, when he was on the bench, they were minus 11, shot 5 of 16. So they definitely need him on the floor, no question. Or they were outscored 16-5, excuse me. But Laettner is a pickup for them, pass the ball, make shots, be out there with Shaquille. Talked to him before the game. He said he thought he could maybe 7 minutes a half here tonight to get himself back in the swing of things, Kevin.
Dalembert picked up his second personal foul for the 76ers. Iguodala for 3. I know there's a lot of talk about Okafor at Charlotte, Ben Gordon over at Chicago, but this kid's had a great rookie year for the Philadelphia 76ers.
I love him. The first time I saw him at Arizona, he reminded me so much of Scottie Pippen, the Scottie Pippen who I coached as a rookie. I think he's got the complete package. Just continue to work on his shooting.
Game high 13 so far for Allen Iverson. Shaq is back in the game. 7 by Wade leading Miami. Let's set the lineup now. Anderson, Dooling, Jones, Shaq, and Laettner for Miami. Iverson, Dalembert, Iguodala, McKee, and Mark Jackson for the Philadelphia 76ers. A little more than a minute into this second quarter. There's another quick foul, and it goes on Christian Laettner for the first time.
Well, what Miami would like to do is all those screen rolls with Iverson, try to stay with him and make him pass the ball. But what he's doing is he's keeping his dribble and just keeping the pressure on the front line. You see it right there, just keeping his dribble and then finding the open man.
Here's Mark Jackson, who's had a great 3-game run here, going right into Shaq, crashing right there. O'Neal picks up his first personal foul. We were having breakfast this morning, and you were talking about Mark Jackson, and you definitely had a guy that he kind of reminded you.
Yeah, he reminds me of Charles Oakley. Now, he's not as good a player as Oak. I mean, so I don't want Oak to get mad at me or anything like that and track me down.
No one wants to have Oak mad at him.
But he's a relentless rebounder. He brings a toughness. He likes contact. He'll make the open shot. He's a good team defender. He's a great guy to have on your team. And he comes off that bench and gives them big numbers. The other night against Boston, they ran the last 2 plays of the game to get him the shot. That's how much confidence that Jim O'Brien and his staff have in this guy. I remember he had the great year, I think, was at Golden State, and then he signed as a free agent and really struggled with a couple injuries and never really made it in Minnesota.
In fact, the year he was at Golden State, he was 3rd in Rookie of the Year, right back of Mike Miller and Kenyon Martin.
And then he just didn't fit in Minnesota. Then he signed there as a free agent or whatever, and then it looks like he's found a home here after having injury problems last year.
Here's Keon Dooling, a 17-1 run by the Philadelphia 76ers. Laettner finds Eddie Jones. Miami led by 12. Oh, a nice play. Nope, not going to count. It's a charge. Oh, it's a foul. It is a foul. Count the 2. And Eddie Jones is fouled by, looks like Dalembert, who picks up his 3rd foul, and that is a problem for Philadelphia.
The rule of thumb is when you're going at a shot blocker, you get your body into his. And what you do is you neutralize him where he can't jump. Did you see Sam was not able to jump there? And then you put the onus on the official to call the foul. So Sam Dalembert in early foul trouble here, not even really having to guard Shaquille O'Neal, but the pressure at the basket that Minnesota has put on him got him in the foul difficulty.
12 points, the biggest lead as we were talking about before with Miami. And Philadelphia had a lead of 5 moments ago. Here is Chris Webber. And down he goes, and he is fouled inside by the Miami Heat.
You could see on that drive, though, Chris had no lift on his shot. He actually shot the ball with his right hand on the left side of the floor. He did not jump off his leg that he had injured. So you can see he just does not have that lift, but he did stay with the play. To me, Kevin, at this stage of his career with his injuries, he's a catch-and-shoot player. He's a guy that likes to play out on the floor, run your offense through him. But if you watch on this play, watch here as he drives to the basket, should shoot the ball with your left hand here on that side of the basket. Cannot get that kind of lift. He did stay with it, but he has wonderful instincts, and he has a great feel for the game. It's a very difficult situation to come in here for him, the way he plays and fit into this team. When Allen Iverson's used to having the ball all the time, they almost have two styles now. When Iverson has it and when Webber has it, and they struggle making the transition.
Eddie Jones. Webber with the rebound. Webber playing with a sprained left shoulder. He had missed 5 games with that injury and came back on Tuesday against the Boston Celtics and struggled 3 of 10 from the floor. Iguodala with a 3.
Well, if he's going to make that shot, he'll be an all-star, because it's the only part of his game right now that is not really where he wants it to be. He's a 31% three-point shooter, but he's an excellent defender. He's a good rebounder. He's had a triple-double this year. He's got great instincts.
This is the biggest lead for the 76ers tonight. Draped with Philadelphia defense, Shaq still gets it to go.
Aaron McKie, I'm just laughing. They're fronting, Mark Jackson fronting down on the low post. Watch Aaron McKie. He's going to come over and give help. Yeah, good luck. It's like he's a fly swatting at the ball. There is no way that you can double team Shaq with a smaller player. If you don't come with 2 big guys, you might as well not send anybody, because he passes the ball over the top of smaller players. At that time, just overpowered Aaron McKie. If you don't go big with your traps on him, he'll pick you apart.
Dueling is on Iverson. Chris Webber.
That's his game. Catch and shoot in rhythm. He's a terrific mid-range jump shooter now. You've got to make him put the ball on the floor and try to finish at the basket. If you're guarding him, you've got to crowd him, make him bounce the ball.
Leitner inside to Shaq, and again has the triple and a foul on Iguodala. He took a big swipe at him. We have an interesting game tonight. Leading scorer of the NBA is Allen Iverson. And the leading MVP candidate, Shaquille O'Neal. They go head-to-head tonight here in Philadelphia. Group of rookies in the NBA this season, including Philadelphia's Andre Iguodala.
Well, this is the Scottie Pippen comparison I talked about. Now, obviously, he's got a long way to go to be Scottie Pippen, but I just feel like you see this video and you watch and some of the things he does on the floor with his shot blocking, his soaring to the basket, his finish. He has the ability to handle the ball and make plays. Spectacular around the basket with his finishes, and he has a very, very good understanding and knowledge of the game. And you see the rookie seasons and the numbers of these 2 players. I coached Scottie as a rookie. His second year, he had a huge improvement, and in that third year, he really took off. So Andre Iguodala has got a great start here to a wonderful future. If he keeps working on that shot, he's one of the young players in Philadelphia they're counting on for a long time.
And notice in that picture, he was number 4. Now he's number 9. Chris Webber, of course, got seniority, and he got number 4. Interesting story about Iguodala. Originally signed with Arkansas after being the Illinois High School Player of the Year. Then when Nolan Richardson left Arkansas, the Razorbacks let him out of his letter of intent. He goes and plays for Lute Olson for a couple years out in Tucson with the University of Arizona. He's the number 9 pick overall. The Shaq fans badly on that one. The number 9 pick overall out of Arizona. And he is the only Philadelphia 76er player this season to start and play in every game.
Well, I really like, you look at Sam Dellenberg, terrific young player. You've got Iguodala, Willie Green, who we've not seen tonight, Kyle Korver. They got a nice nucleus of some young players here in Philadelphia.
Mark Jackson. Webber with the rebound, a rare one for the 76ers tonight. His perseverance shows right there. The leading scorer with 13 is Allen Iverson. Eddie Jones and Shaq each have 8 for the Miami Heat.
But after being down 12, Sixers up 7 now, 19-point swing in this game.
This is the biggest lead for Philadelphia tonight. Keon Dooling, the lightning quick player out of Missouri, flying inside. The foul is called on Webber, and he picks up his second foul. Dallenberg is on the Philadelphia bench right now with 3.
Well, when Miami Heat's team really, I thought, took off this year is when Damon Jones went into the starting lineup with Wade, and Dooling now coming off the bench gives them that energy, and that's what we're seeing here early.
Fans, a reminder, tune in all day Monday for the Reggie Miller NBA TV Marathon. It starts with 3 of his most memorable NBA games, followed by NBA Talk and NBA TV insiders discussing Reggie's career. And finally, watch Miller's Pacers take on the Magic live at 7 o'clock Eastern Time this Monday on NBA TV.
Miami's got to get that defensive mentality back. Kevin, they had early in this game. Right now, the 76ers shooting 58%. They've had 5 of 7 from the three-point line. So not championship defense we're seeing right now from Miami.
Kyle Korver back in the game. Good fake by Weber and late in the bit. And it's loose inside. And it is a foul. And it's on Miami defensively.
That's Mark Jackson inside. He will throw his body around.
Shaq's got 2, Doug.
And it's, you know, I mean, he's a big man, Mark Jackson. When you put him next to Shaq, he looks very small. Here's going to be Zoe coming into the game for Shaquille O'Neal. Alonzo coming off probably his most minutes since we've seen him in a Miami Heat uniform against Detroit the other day. Struggled with 3 for 12 from the floor, but blocked 5 shots and did a nice job on the boards. He's trying to get his rhythm.
Allen Iverson for 3. And a rebound by Dwayne Wade. Wade takes a lot of punishment, but you know what? Team's been dishing it out on Wade, too. He's faced much more physicality since going inside, although that time he knifes his way for an easy bucket.
Well, they know a big part of his game is getting in that paint, and they're swarming him now. He's going to have to learn to make that pass, kick that ball out.
Iverson, 2-point shot. Leitner with the rebound. 7.5 to play in this first half. Keon Dooling. And a rebound by Korver. Mark Jackson. Alonzo Mourning with the rebound. How quick Wade is with that first step when he bullets his way inside and Leitner taps it in.
Well, 3 opportunities there. You know, Dwayne Wade has over 100 offensive rebounds. He's their 3rd best offensive rebounder on this team. So when he's wandering around down on that baseline, if you're guarding him, you got to get your body on him. Send our best to Eddie Curry. First and foremost, we want to get him healthy, make sure there's nothing seriously wrong where he can get back out and play again next year. But they've now lost he and Luol Deng, 2 keys to their success this year.
Foul called on Alonzo Mourning. Here's an interesting story as we continue this health talk. That's the first on Zoe. It is shocking to think that just a little bit less than 2 years ago, at about this time, Alonzo Mourning is having a kidney transplant. And now here he is in the NBA, and, you know, the players talk about him in awe. I mean, can you believe this guy has gone through so much, and he's back in the NBA?
Well, first of all, what it says is that, you know, he was very blessed to get a donor, number 1. Number 2, he's got terrific physicians who have given him wonderful care. And then number 3, you're talking about a man with tremendous pride who wants to continue to play basketball. It's been very easy for him to say, you know what, I'm finished. And it sort of worked out itself, you know, to where he was able to get back to Miami and play where he had his great moments and possibly have a chance to win a championship. But Alonzo Mourning is one of the classiest players to ever play in the NBA, and it's great to see him back.
Well said. Miami shooting 52%, Philly shooting 50%. Good shooting on the part of both teams. Damon Jones and Haslam back in for the Heat. Here's Wade. He's got 9 to lead Miami, and he kind of curls around one defender after another. Anderson got the great pass, and a foul called on Philly inside. Game high, 13 points for Allen Iverson. A foul is called on the play. Weber picks up his 3rd. Dallenberg's got 3. So, Cheryl Miller, we got some foul concerns for the 76ers as we send it to you.
Oh, thanks a lot, Kevin and Doug. And just to add on what you were talking about Alonzo Mourning before the game, he said, you know, Cheryl, I still have a lot of game left in me. In the last game, 37 minutes, Doug, as you mentioned. But he did say, Cheryl, I didn't shoot the ball particularly well. I was 3 for 12, but I had 14 boards, 5 blocks. He said he's still trying to work himself into Stan Van Gundy's rotation. But he said, physically, I feel great. He said, and my doctors couldn't be happier about his health. And that's what's more important about Alonzo Mourning, guys.
Good report and good news. Anderson at the line. His brother Willie, of course, played in the NBA. And this is Shandon Anderson, who probably had his greatest seasons with the Utah Jazz. +5 Miami is in rebounding so far. And we've had a lead change and 3 ties. 76ers have led by 7. Miami has led by as many as 12. Iverson to Jackson. Nice pass by AI.
Well, you can see what Iverson, he just took 2 guys with him and no weak side rotation by Miami. Again, their game plan is when he comes off those screen rolls, make him be a passer. That's exactly what he did, but no weak side help. Stan Van Gundy cannot be happy with that.
Damon Jones. There you talked about the roaming Allen Iverson, and Jones burns him with the 2-pointer.
When Allen Iverson is off the ball, he's like a free safety. A lot like LeBron James is playing in Cleveland. Here's Iverson once again on the run.
Nice passing. It went from McKee inside to Jackson, rejected by Zoe, which triggers it the other way, and Wade into McKee. Rodney Rogers in for the first time tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers, and Wade feel like he is a punching bag. Every time he takes it inside, McKee picks up his second.
Well, this is what Alonzo Mourning will do. He will bring you shot blocking at the rim. Goes up strong, gets the shot block against Mark Jackson. But, you know, Kevin, just to follow up a little bit with Allen Iverson, when you are setting up your game plan, you plan for him to roam off the basketball, so you try to make sure you've got a shooter on the floor that can take advantage of that situation. And so with Damon Jones out there, Allen Iverson is going to be in a situation he's going to be looking for steals. If Miami makes the extra pass, somebody's going to get an open shot.
And I like what you said today earlier, Doug, about this game for Philadelphia. This team through the playoffs, should they make it, has got to have Iverson's fingerprints on virtually every statistical category.
Well, he's the heart and soul of this team, and he makes everybody better. They put him at the point guard situation this year. He's run the team. The ball is in his hands. He's making plays for everybody. There's a wide open shot he gets from Mark Jackson. So he's either scoring or looking to get the shot for somebody else on most every possession.
Miami has already clinched the best record in the Eastern Conference as Wade finds Shandon Anderson. Wade. He walked as he went inside against this Philadelphia defense. Philly number 8 right now in the Eastern Conference, and a slim game-and-a-half lead on number 9, New Jersey. The two will meet in a couple days.
Now, one of the things that Iverson has struggled a little bit with this year are turnovers. He leads the league in turnovers, averaging almost 8 assists a game, but turning the ball over almost 5 times a game. He's had a couple games in the month of March where he had double-digit turnovers.
Rogers, good steal by Alonzo Mourning. That's turnover number 4 for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Too far out on the floor to try to throw that over-the-top pass being fronted.
And Jones to Zoe. And Korver picks up a foul. Up 3-second violation inside. 3-second violation on Miami.
Well, that back-to-back turnovers now by Miami, one by Dwayne Wade, who is second in the league in turnovers. Allen Iverson, both of these guys are fearless around the basket. Stevie Francis is third. A lot of times you get a lot of offensive fouls because you're flying in there, you're leaving your feet, or you get passes deflected because you're up in the air.
Iverson is just snapping that ball all over the floor, setting up one Sixer after another.
Well, see, this is the Sixer team that's comfortable playing. With Chris Webber on the bench, they know that they're going to go through Allen Iverson. What they've got to be able to do is find a way when Webber's on the floor to utilize his ability, and that's the struggle that they've had, especially with Webber being injured and missing time. They haven't been able to practice.
A tough time of the season to do it as well. And here is Damon Jones, tapped by Jackson. Fresh 24 for Miami as we approach 4 to play in the first half. Wade. That's a nice looking pass to Damon Jones. Wade fouled by Rodney Rogers.
What did I say? One of the keys, keep him off the foul line. How many free throws has he got?
He's got a lot. He's been up there the most of any Miami player tonight. But the problem is when he goes up, which is good at the line because he has a decent free throw percentage. But when you take a look at Miami as a team, and they do get to the line a lot, they are not very good as a ball club.
Well, that's one of the things you have to worry about come playoff time. You know, this Miami team has beaten about 36 teams this year. Or they've won 36 games by 10 or more points. They haven't played a lot of close games. So come playoff time where free throw shooting becomes vital, then you have to worry a little bit. And with Shaq, I know he always says that, you know, I make them when they count. But, you know, he's shooting 46% this year. So, you know, come playoff time, teams are going to want to put 3-4 different guys on him, use 24 fouls, and make free throw shooting a big part of the game, especially late in games when games are on the line.
Well, ask Ben Wallace at Detroit. He has the worst shooting percentage at the free throw line of any player.
And you see that anytime he catches the ball around the basket late in games, teams are going to make him make free throws.
Right. Iguodala for three. He's hit a couple tonight from there, and Shaq clutches on to a rebound. Iguodala with the steal at the other end. Korver for three.
Wow, quick catch and shoot. He is a quick shooter.
Here's Wade. Look how quick Wade is. Oh, what a spectacular play by Dwayne Wade. A foul on Kyle Korver of Philadelphia.
Well, he had to be in the restricted area because he was there in time. So we'll have to take a look at this. But this is the fearlessness I talked about with Dwayne Wade. This is why he picks up offensive fouls. Look, his right heel was on the restricted line. So that is a good call. You're going to see, well, he takes a step back, so it's hard to see when the contact occurred. Did the contact drive his foot over the back of the line, or was it there before the contact occurred?
Here is Wade. Who is number 3. We're talking about free throws attempted. He is number 3 in the NBA in free throws attempted, a 76% free throw shooter. And he is one of 3 NBA players in the top 10 in points, assists, which is a pretty good category, along with Iverson and LeBron James. Shaq with some defense. Stepped out of bounds, though, and it's Philly's ball. Down by 3. Miami is on top, 49-46.
Well, just to follow up on your free throws, Wade is 3rd in attempts at 733 going into the game, and number 4 is Shaquille O'Neal. So they have 2 guys that combined for over 1,400 free throw attempts.
16-6 run by Miami right now.
This is where Philadelphia has to be very careful. They've done a nice job hanging around here. The Heat are getting ready to make a push. Kevin, I talk about it all the time about what good teams do at the end of quarters. Let's see what Philly can do.
You're right. He's got a quick trigger, and there's another rebound by Shaquille O'Neal. And he's got 5. Wade.
That floor looks slick out there. Dwayne Wade has fallen a couple times. A couple players have slid in that one area.
Well, I'd like to say there's ice beneath us, but there's no NHL, so I'm thinking there's just concrete beneath us. And Shaq across the lane. Nope, he traveled.
That's a little bit what Magic Johnson was talking about in the studio before the game. Shaq is not in a rhythm right now. When you miss games, it takes you a while to get back into that rhythm. You're so used to playing 3-4 games a week, and it's going to take him these 5 games to get himself back to where he wants to be going in the playoffs.
Plus, he's kind of used to that Phil Jackson system of, as Rodney Rogers launches a 3. Nice rebound, Iguodala, great behind the back pass to Mark Jackson, and a foul on Eddie Jones. But, he's kind of in the mindset of Jackson, which down the stretch, maybe not the urgency that maybe Stan Van Gundy wants to see with Miami.
Well, Phil's sort of that, what me worry kind of thing or whatever. And Stan Van Gundy's a frost budget. He worries about everything. So 2 different personalities, but I think Stan Van Gundy wants his team playing well going into the playoffs.
Philly led by 7 earlier in the second quarter after Miami led by 12 in the first. We take a look at our plus-minus meter. Plus 3 baskets above the arc for Philly. That's a total of 9 points. That's the only reason why Philadelphia is as close as they are right now.
Well, when you look at this, free throws made, points in the paint, rebounds. Miami, when they win those areas, they normally win the game. So this does not bode well for Philadelphia. What's keeping them in the game, Kevin? They've scored 9 more points at the 3-point line. Other than that, Miami's dominating the game.
15 points by Wade, leads all scorers. 13 by Iverson, leads Philadelphia. Shaq has 8 points and 6 rebounds. And here is Jackson at the line for the Philadelphia 76ers. And Philly from the stripe tonight now has gone 8 of 9. And Miami has gone 15 of 21.
Another thing that Mark Jackson's like Charles Oakley. He's an excellent free throw shooter. He's shooting almost 82%. And Charles Oakley was always a great free throw shooter, especially in the 4th quarter. You love for him to get fouled and go up to that line.
Jackson has scored the last 8 points for Philadelphia. They've had 2 lead changes and 5 ties in this first half. Miami shooting 51% from the floor. Haslem. Shot clock at 6. Jones to O'Neal. And a foul. Mark Jackson was defending for Philadelphia. Ernie Johnson here. We've got a 1-point game with 2.5 to play in the half as we swing it to you in our TNT studios.
All right, thank you, Kevin. I'll let you know what's coming up on the halftime report. We're going to have Magic here, and Kenny and Charles. They will break down the first half. Also, the Cavs with a big game tonight with the Knicks in town, and the Cavs losing at the half. And also the Insider Awards Coach of the Year as voted on by Magic and Charles and Kenny. All that on the Verizon Wireless halftime report. Now back to Kevin and the guy never seen without his iPod, Doug Collins.
Yeah, he loves that iPod. You're right. Second throw by Shaq won't go. 1 point Miami lead. They know you well back there.
They do.
Allen Iverson has played every minute of the game. Rebound by Shaq, number 7. And Damon Jones flying the other way. Told you before, Miami shooting 51%, Philly shooting 41%. 41% shooting for the 76ers.
Again, there's Dwayne Wade. One dribble too many. No place to go. Philadelphia doing a nice job stepping up and taking the offensive foul. The growth in his game, Kevin, is going to be able, as he makes that penetration, see if there's anything there or not, where he doesn't get himself caught getting in foul trouble, picking up offensive fouls.
Wade picks up his first. Iverson. Haslam with the rebound. Philadelphia has missed 11 of their last 12 shots from the floor.
But the free throw misses by Miami is keeping him around.
Haslam, nice pass by Shaq.
Well, it's twice now he's done that where they've double teamed and he just sees right over the top of the double team and drops it off. And Haslam is a great cutter. He's got very good hands and he can finish. More importantly, Shaq pressing.
Iguodala. And Iverson uncovered. Here is Jones, and he puts in a 3, does Damon Jones of the Miami Heat. And that is his second tonight. He is 2 of 2 above the arc.
Bennett Salvatore and Mark Wunderlich are talking to each other right now. Was it a 2 or a 3? So we'll have to see what happens here.
Allen Iverson. Iguodala. Iguodala's fearless, isn't he?
I love the way he slashes around that basket. You know, he's a better ball handler than I thought he was. I like that he can handle that ball in traffic. He can get to where he wants to get on the floor. Looks like Mark Wunderlich and Damon Jones are talking here with one another. I don't know if they gave him a 2 or a 3. We'll have to find out. It's a good substitution by Stan Van Gundy. Get Shaquille O'Neal out of the game so he doesn't pick up his 3rd foul. His foot is definitely on the line, so that is a 2.
But I just changed it.
But I watched the referee. You see Bennett Salvatore on the top of your screen. He was talking to Mark Wunderlich the whole time that he saw it as a 2, that his foot was on the line. Watch Bennett over there on the right. See him right over here on the right side of your screen. He's pointing. That's a 2-point field goal. That's good officiating, good communication with one another. You want to make sure you get the call right.
Well, Bennett Salvatore has officiated many NBA finals. In addition to running a great steak restaurant up in Connecticut called Bennett's.
You do anything for a free meal.
Well,
I mean,
no,
you
I'm
are
not,
shameless.
No, I'm just
shameless.
I'm reporting, Doug. Reporting.
Always on food.
I think you work with Julia Childs here. So there comes Wade. Iguodala is defending. A nice shot by Dwayne Wade, who has put in 17 points, and that is a game high.
But it can go 2 for 1 here if Iverson gets a quick one.
Look how quickly he just finds one way to find room, and that is a missed shot by Korver. And a 4-on-2. Wade, Damon Jones. This is a 3, and that is good.
See the separation that good teams get at the end of quarters. I'm telling you, Kevin, I used to preach that anytime I coach, guys, finish the quarter strong. This is when teams are going to make a push. I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's when good teams win games.
Iverson gets the screen and banks home a long shot with 4 seconds to play in the first half. And what an interesting first half this has been, as Jones will loft one and try to beat the buzzer. Good if it goes, and it does! A 3 by Damon Jones of the Miami Heat.
Well, he was questionable for the game tonight. Was not feeling well. Well, he's coming across just at the right time. Hit some big shots here. They're going to have to review this because it'll be 0-0s on the clock. But Iverson hits a shot with 4 seconds to go. Let's watch to see if he got it off in time.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. 0.2 of a second when he lets it go. That shot will count. And a 9-point Miami Heat lead with a very strong finish.
So,
Because remember how Miami started the game with Shaq. That's when they pushed to that 12-point lead. Let's see if Philadelphia can cut into this lead or if Miami can push it to 20.
Damon Jones brings it up. Eddie Jones, Udonis Haslem, Dwayne Wade, Shaq out there for Miami to begin the second half. Korver, Iguodala, Dalembert with 3 fouls, Iverson and Weber out there for the Philadelphia 76ers. A forced shot. And here comes Philadelphia. They missed 13 of their last 15 shots to close the first half. And the alley-oop to Iguodala doesn't go any place. And here comes Wade the other way. Nice pump fake. And Eddie Jones. Dwayne Wade.
Loves that baseline. You've got to pay attention to him around that basket. When he gives it up, you cannot let him get the ball back.
It's Dalembert.
Should have just dunked that ball.
Yeah, it looked like it, didn't he? Or try to be too fancy inside.
Well, it looked like maybe he thought that Shaq was around there, was going to block the shot from behind, but he had an easy dunk. And for some reason, he tried to make it a degree of difficulty shot off the glass and couldn't finish. That's where his inexperience comes in, Kev. We talked a little bit about before in the second quarter. He's just now learning to have the instincts to play basketball. He didn't play that much as a young guy, and sometimes he gets himself in trouble.
Started when he was 13 years old. Here's Philadelphia with it. Number 8 in the Eastern Conference. Game and a half on top of New Jersey. Iverson, just like a pinball, banged into one guy and then was hit by another and falls to the floor, and a foul is called. And it goes on Haslem for a second time. Miami has already clinched the best record in the Eastern Conference. They already are the #1 seed. But you made a great point earlier in this game. They want to try to catch San Antonio and finish with the second best record in the NBA in back of the Phoenix Suns.
You got to put yourself in a position that regardless if you got to think about getting to the NBA Finals to try to have the home court over as many people as you can.
Never across the lane. Miami has lost 2 straight coming into tonight and 5 of 9. Shaq is back for the first time in 4 games after a stomach ailment. And Wade again slipping on that floor.
I don't know if his shoes are slick, but he is not getting good traction tonight.
Oh, what a
I'll
play
take that back.
by Dwayne Wade.
He's getting great traction tonight.
He's got a game-high 19 points. 15 by Iverson leads the Philadelphia 76ers.
You cannot let him get on that baseline.
He is so excited. Chris Webber. Jones with the rebound for Miami. And Miami is plus 12 now in rebounding tonight. Well, Iverson, we talk about MVP candidates and how Shaq probably will get it with Nash a close second, but Iverson's put up some incredible numbers this year.
Oh, his numbers are off the charts. I mean, he's doing everything. You heard Kenny Smith talk about it at halftime. He gets in the paint and gets shots for everybody, and they don't have a low post presence. Weber is a jump shooter now. They don't have somebody they can throw that ball to on the block.
And Wade comes up with it. He's got all kinds of white jersey defenders around him. Kicks it out. Damon Jones for 3. Weber with the rebound and triggers to Iverson.
Keep your eye on Korver in these situations. Iverson loves to find, and this time he gets in the paint himself and scores.
Iverson comes in, #1 in points, #2 in steals, #5 in assists, #1 in turnovers, unfortunately, but nonetheless, he has been so terrific in so many other areas. And the heart and soul of the 76er team. Shot clock is at 2, and 1 pass too many right there. Eddie Jones gave it up to Damon Jones.
Recognition, Eddie Jones has got to take that shot. That's just an awareness. He did not have time to make the extra pass, and right now Miami's come a little flat out of the halftime. Philadelphia's got to take advantage of that. They can get themselves right back in this game.
That's the turnover story right there. Miami plus 5 in that category. Dalembert, Iguodala. And that's the second jump ball we're going to have here in the third quarter. He and Eddie Jones get tied up. as we swing it over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, the 76ers associate head coach Lester Carter said there were a couple areas of concern in the first half. He said, number one, our transition defense. He said, according to my stats, we gave Miami 19 fast break points. He said, number one, we have to get back. Number two, especially finding Damon Jones, who we just saw moments ago, miss that wide open three-point shot. He said, number two, Shaq on the offensive glass. We're allowing him to not only grab the board, but gather himself and score. He said, look, I don't want to get into hack of Shaq, but let's force Shaq to make some free throws, guys.
Yeah, good point. By the way, looking at Lester Connor, he may be another soon-to-be-named head coach in the NBA. Young guy with great promise, a terrific NBA defender when he played, and now on Jim O'Brien's staff. And what a great way to learn about coaching from one of the greats in Jim O'Brien.
Yeah, great credentials. He loves the game. Had a chance over the last few years to get to know Lester a little bit. He just got a great passion and, you know, soon wants to be a head coach. Hopefully he'll get an opportunity.
Korver knocked it away. 2-on-1 with Iverson. Korver inside. Another great pass by Iverson.
You know, there's this misconception that Kyle Korver's a three-point shooter. This guy is more than that. Now, obviously, he makes his living at the three-point line, but he's a good rebounder. He's averaging almost 5 rebounds a game, over 1.5 steals. He does other things other than just shoot spot-up jump shots, as you saw in that last possession.
Haslam with another rebound and held. Another jump ball with Dallenberg, updating the Iverson assist category now with 7 assists. That is a game high.
Iverson again, Korver running out on the break. He's the one that knocked that ball loose to get the steal and then the nice finish. You can always tell when guys trust other guys out on the floor. They look for them, and Iverson has got great trust in Korver. He looks for him in the three-point at that three-point line when he gets in the lane. Look for him nicely on that break.
Out of bounds, and they'll do it again. So Miami is trying to recapture the momentum after losing 5 of 9 heading into tonight. Philadelphia fighting for playoff positioning, currently number 8. Game and a half in front of New Jersey. Still with an outside chance of winning the Atlantic, but Boston had a big win in Milwaukee last night. Celtics lead the Atlantic. Here's Iverson for 3, missing poorly on the shot.
I just don't like that shot at that time. He can get in the lane at any time, and Iverson's only shooting 29% from that three-point line. I think he can get that any time.
Well, Miami is really having a heck of a time scoring. They've only hit 1 of their last 6, and Shaq will be at the stripe where he has missed his last 4 free throw attempts. And so here is the 33-year-old Shaquille O'Neal, the reigning Eastern Conference Player of the Month in March. Coming up next, Game 2 of our exclusive doubleheader as the Portland Trail Blazers take on the Dallas Mavericks. That is up in the Pacific Northwest on TNT. Kevin Harlan, Doug Collins, and the Hall of Famer Cheryl Miller. In Philly, where they got a sold-out house tonight.
It's sort of amazing. Shaq can walk up there sometime, and his free throw looks so good, and other times it has no chance. It's just he doesn't shoot it the same way every time. He's got such a difference in his routine.
Here's Weber playing with 4 fouls, and Shaq clutches on to another rebound. He now has 10 with his 9 points, and Iverson does get the steal with a great-looking dive. It's those little things like that that just endear him to his teammates, and stepping out of bounds with Iguodala.
Well, that's what will get Chris Webber in trouble with the Philadelphia fans. That time, instead of just making the simple pass, he tries to bounce it between his legs. Degree of difficulty is not something that you do in Philadelphia. You keep it simple.
And not for Jim O'Brien either.
You keep it simple, you know, especially when you're struggling, because these people, they're in a fight for the playoffs here right now. You got to do everything the easy way.
Even though starting this quarter 1 of 6, Miami still shooting 52% from the floor in the game. Philly is down to 39%. Good dive inside by Haslam.
You know, Haslam's got good hands, Kevin. He can catch that ball on the move. And Eddie Jones makes him a nice pass, so he can either roll and finish, or he can roll out and shoot a 15-foot jump shot.
Iverson wheeling by Shaq. Korver, Iguodala, Dallenberg. Across the lane into O'Neal. Sixers have led by 7. Miami had a big lead of 12 back in the first half.
Miami needs to make a little push before Shaq has to sit down again and rest.
His first game back in 4, and that will not count. There was a foul, and it was on Eddie Jones as the high-flying Iverson was streaking the other way. But let's get back a little bit on this MVP thing. We've talked about Shaq. We've talked about Nash. You know, you can throw Nowitzki's name in there, too. But when you look at the numbers for Iverson, who is hovering over his 4th scoring title. He's already won it 3 times in the NBA. Currently the #1 scorer in the league. We talked about 2nd in steals and 5th in assists.
Well, I think when you look at this graphic, the one thing that will jump out to this is the difference right here. When he got the MVP, 56 wins. This year they only have 39. So he's having an MVP kind of season.
Right.
And probably Philadelphia is probably about where most people thought they would be on the course of the season. But when you look at the other guys in the running, look what their teams are doing. Nash, Nowitzki, Shaq. These teams are all winning upwards of 55, maybe 60 games. And that's really what you start judging the MVP voting on, unfortunately, for Iverson.
Well, Iverson knocking in a 3. He's got 21. It is the 54th consecutive game that Iverson has scored 20 or more this season.
Hanging around. It's a 4-point game, and eventually Shaq's going to have to rest. And when he does, they're going to have to do what they did last time and try to take advantage of him sitting down.
Philly has hit 6 threes. Miami has hit 4 3-point shots. Iguodala knocks it away. Here's a 2-on-1 Iverson. Dalembert. Oh, and a pass that was there that Dalembert just could not snag. Iguodala. A game-high 21 points by Allen Iverson, who continues to amaze in every way. On pace right now to become the first NBA player to finish season in top 5 scoring, assists, and steals. Miami leads here by 4. Tonight, free throw shooting Miami 16 of 25, Doug. Shaq is 3 of 9.
Well, you know, we talk about free throw shooters. A big part is the arch that you have on your shot. You see Duncan and Shaq, 2, subpar free throw shooters. Then you take a Reggie Miller and a Peja Stojakovic, and you look at their arc on their shot. Angle of entry going into the basket. The better arc you have on your shot, the greater chance it has to go in the basket. So when you watch free throw shooting, obviously the same things are there. It's 15 feet. The basket is 10 feet high. But the trajectory of your shot, that angle of entry, gives you a greater chance to get that bounce and roll around. And you can see Shaquille this year, the 2nd worst free throw shooter behind, actually ahead of Ben Wallace, and then Stephen Hunter from Phoenix. The trajectory of their shot softens it up and gives it a chance to go in. And you see the last free throw that Shaq takes, that's got good arch on it. It's got a chance to go in just hard off the back rim, but when the shot gets flat, it's a very hard shot, and you don't get very many clean bounces.
And a sideways spin, which you don't see very often.
Well, he had a bad wrist injury as a young player. I remember talking to him a few years ago, and he doesn't get great follow-through, so a lot of times he just stabs the ball, and as a result, he doesn't get the normal rotation. He shoots that little corkscrew shot.
Nice finish. Shaquille O'Neal assisting once again, counted for 2. Shaq has got 3 assists. And at the line will be Haslam, who has 10. Leading scorer for Miami, Wade with 19. Game high 21 by Allen Iverson, and the foul goes on Dalembert. He's got 4, and Weber's got 4.
Let's keep our eye on this substitution. Now, Shaq is going out. He played a little under 7 minutes here. Zoe is coming in. Remember the last time this happened in the first quarter, they were up 11.
Yep.
And Philadelphia went on like a 12-point run on them and actually took the lead. Now they only have a 5-point lead here in this game. So will Philadelphia be able to take the lead with Shaq sitting on the bench? This is when they have to make their push, Kevin, right now.
Miami's lost 2 straight. Philly has won 4 of 5 coming into tonight. Iguodala with Wade defending, and Weber has it ricochet off his foot, but no boos, and the boos have been something that have resonated throughout this building whenever Weber has made a mistake, but not tonight so far.
If Chris will show them passion and energy and effort, they'll live with his mistakes. This is a fan base that loves energy, toughness, and passion. If he will do that, they will live with his shortcomings.
Well, you should know you were a 4-time All-Star for the Sixers. A rebound by Iguodala. Nice pass by Iverson. Haslam, though, intercepts it inside for Miami.
See, that's where Sam Dellenberg wasn't ready to make the catch. How many passes do you see him fumble? He's just not ready.
Philly has not made a substitution in this second half so far. Eddie Jones, a great retrieval and the dunk.
Rebounding right now, plus 13 for Miami on the boards.
Good point. So tonight we have the leading scorer in Allen Iverson against the leading MVP candidate in Shaquille O'Neal. Miami has clinched the best record in the Eastern Conference. They're the #1 seed. They're now chasing the second best overall record in the NBA. Philadelphia is in dire straits, so to speak. They're a game over 500. They're number 8 in the Eastern Conference. But their lead on New Jersey is only a game and a half. And they take on New Jersey in a couple days as Iverson has a go inside to Jackson. Rejected by Zoe. Picked up by Dalembert on the miss. Another rejection by Mourning, who knocks away 2 inside. He's got 3 blocks for the game and continues to play tennis inside.
And look at his teammates over on the bench now. He has just come off the bench, comes right in, block shot, blocks another one. The tenacity of Zoe around that basket.
And that's an Iverson offering. And it was tapped up and in. And Mark Jackson and Iguodala both say they got it. And so they're going to have to split it in half. Let's give it to Dalembert, who wasn't even raising his hand.
That's looking over the score. That's my field goal. I tell you, when you're struggling to score, you find any way to get in the book.
Haslem.
He's so worked on that jump shot, man. I give him a lot of credit.
But in this offense, as you said earlier, that number 4 position has got to shoot from outside.
And post feed and be able to catch and finish at the basket.
Jackson, and he is fouled. Wade was in there. Alonzo Mourning was in there. It's on Dwayne Wade.
Watch this now, Kevin. 3 guys around the ball, and watch as they come out here. Sam, you can tell he's not a scorer because he's the only one who didn't raise his hand like that was my basket. You can always tell guys who are not used to scoring. Sam Dellenberg scores about 4 points, so, you know, it's no big deal to him. That's where you always want to be the captain of your team because, you know, in a situation, if there was a play like that and no one was around the ball, they gave it to the captain. So you got the points, you know. So you always think about how you can pick up extra points. That and be able to shoot technical free throws, that's money in the bank before you get started.
Doug, we're looking at Iverson, and you came up with an interesting number today. Since he has been a 76er, the team is 349 and 353. Do those numbers surprise you?
Well, he came to a franchise that was woeful. I mean, it was awful. And they struggled. They're trying to find a guy to be his sidekick. They went through a lot of different guys. Larry Brown came in, finally put some pieces together. They win 56. They go to the NBA Finals. But other than that, you know, they have not had many great seasons here winning and losing. They've struggled to put the pieces around Allen Iverson.
Jones. Shot clock is down to 6. Eddie Jones. Into Zoe. Foul. Korver? Well, I don't know. Yeah, they're going to give it on Korver. He'll pick it up. He's got 4, Doug. Weber's got 4. Dallenbert's got 4.
You know, I want to follow up a little bit what Charles talked about with Alonzo Mourning and how he's going to be important in the playoffs. Maybe not in their earlier rounds if they play against smaller teams. But what Charles was talking about, when they play against a big power front line like Detroit, that's where they're going to need him. Or maybe a San Antonio in the finals if they get there. That's what's going to be critical. So Charles is talking about maybe against smaller teams, Kevin, that won't happen. But against the power teams, you've already seen his shot blocking, his rebounding, and what he did the other day against Detroit without Shaquille O'Neal. They're going to need him against the power teams.
Now look at Zoe. I can't believe he's 35 years old. Can you? I mean,
well, because he takes care of himself. He works hard.
He looks terrific.
Tremendous amount of pride. How about the way Dikembe Mutombo's been playing for Houston? There's another guy.
Plus, he's been great in the locker room. Jackson. That is Mark Jackson with just under 3 to play. The shooting in the game, Miami 54% and Philadelphia 38% from the field. In a game that has seen Miami lead by 12 and Philly lead by as many as 7. It's been a lackluster third quarter.
Yeah, no rhythm. Miami has 7 turnovers in this quarter, or otherwise they'd be up by double digits. That's the only thing that's keeping Philadelphia in the game right now.
Alonzo.
Wow. You think this guy, I mean, he's coming off a very subpar game. He was very upset after the Detroit game. Shot 3 for 12, even though he did all those other things. And what he said to Stan Van Gundy, Coach, he said, I promise you I'm going to be better. Please don't lose confidence in me. And you're talking about a guy with this kind of stature now, going to the coach, saying, Coach, please don't lose confidence in me.
That's a 2-time defensive NBA Player of the Year and a legend in this modern-day NBA. It's 1997, and under Avery Johnson, Dallas is 12-2. You'll see that team against the Portland Trail Blazers tonight in Game 2 of our TNT NBA doubleheader.
Well, just a couple things. First of all, Eddie Jordan's got to be saying to Washington, guys, run the table. We can get the 4th seed and have the home court. That's what they should be shooting for.
Huge.
And Dallas, don't go to sleep on them now, Kevin. I've said all along, and everybody talks about the woeful defense. Well, I can tell you, they're a much better defensive team this year. They've got more size on the front line. They have speed and quickness on the perimeter. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. They're not a team you want to line up against. They are playing great basketball. And Denver, don't count them out as being the 3rd seed right now. With Seattle limping in, Denver still has a chance to get up to get that 3rd seed. So Seattle's got to find a way to win a game or two.
George Karl has done as good a coaching job as anybody in the NBA this season, as Iverson has a game-high 23, 19 by Wade leading Miami. Shaq's got 9 points and 10 rebounds. This is Dwayne Wade for 2. Korver rebound, and Iverson the other way. Sizable Miami rebounding advantage of 10. Dalembert.
Well, that's what you got to do. Catch the ball. Don't get cute with it. Go up and power it in, because Alonzo Mourning blocked the last couple shots around that basket. But you know, Alonzo, when he dunked the ball, he just turned and ran down the other end of the floor, and then nothing said. I guarantee you, though, when he comes back in there again, he better look for him.
Well, Mark Jackson and Zoe really getting physical. Here's Wade in the lane, flying for 2.
Well, that's 2 guys who love to bang around. That's Zoe's game, and that's Mark Jackson's game. Put your body on somebody. Mark Jackson's not a good leaper, so he's got to use his body to create space.
McKee to Iverson. Jackson to Korver for 3.
Count it. Let him get that kind of time.
Kyle Korver, Doug, has put in 13 points, and he has authored numerous threes tonight. Now 7 of 14, 50% above the arc for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, they're +9 there. Other than that, Miami's winning every other category.
Keon Dooling. Shot clock at 3. And Udonis Haslem, another slip by a Miami player and a shot clock violation.
Now, wait a second. That ball did not go out of bounds. That should be Philadelphia's ball. That's a shot clock violation. So that clock went off while the ball was rolling, and before it went out of bounds, the clock went off. That should be Philadelphia's basketball. That should be Philly's ball. That was a shot clock violation. All right, now watch. That ball is rolling. Watch the shot clock now. It's at 0, and the ball is still not out of bounds. Nobody had possession. That should be Philadelphia's basketball.
Look at this Miami team, the #1 record in the Eastern Conference. Let's go back just 1 year ago. At this stage of the season for the Miami Heat, completely different cast of characters. First-year coach Stan Van Gundy, and they win 17 of 21 games going into the playoffs, which has been one of the great modern-day finishes of a season by a team just trying to get in the postseason.
Well, and they used that then to be able to go into the playoffs. They won their first round. Remember, they were so good at home. They won all their home games. They got a taste of playoff basketball. This year they want more with the addition of Shaq. The referees got it right. They got the right call. That was a shot clock violation. Good officiating.
No fouls to give either way. Samuel Dalembert has him the rebound.
Last shot time here for Miami. Let's see if they flatten it out and let Dwayne Wade try to go one-on-one against Aaron McKee. If someone helps, look for the three-point shooting in either Eddie Jones or Keon Dooling.
Wade is picked up by McKee. And spoon feeds Haslem for a pretty play by the Miami Heat.
To perfection at .6 on the clock. Philadelphia cannot get a shot. Excellent way to go in, to end the third quarter. You execute.
Beauty for you from Phoenix on Monday. It's a special presentation of the NBA on TNT. The Phoenix Suns, with the best overall record in the NBA, hosting the high-flying Denver Nuggets, easily the hottest team in the NBA. Coverage begins at 10 o'clock Eastern Time this Monday from Phoenix on TNT with Doug Collins and Cheryl Miller, Kevin Harlan, and look at that graphic.
Well, that's why they were so happy at the end of the third quarter. 46-2, their only losses to the Clippers and Bulls on the road, both of those games in overtime. Shaq rested 5 minutes and 19 seconds. Here's a quick release again by Korver to make it a one-point game, but Shaq rested 5 minutes and 19 seconds, and the Heat lost nothing off their lead. Shaq should be rested and ready to finish this quarter.
Kyle Korver has gone 4 of 6 shooting threes tonight. With the 76ers, who are in 8th place in the Eastern Conference. Miami clinched the best record in the East. They're the #1 seed. Here comes Shaq into Mark Jackson. Makes it go. Shaq's got a double-double. He's out there with Dooling, Eddie Jones, Shandon Anderson, and Christian Laettner. For the second time in the game tonight, Laettner is back in after battling a right foot injury. Dallenberg is in with Allen Iverson, Jackson, Korver, and Aaron McKie to begin the fourth quarter for Philadelphia.
Well, they want Shaq and Laettner to be able to play with one another out there. Here's the jumper once again by Iverson, and the great hustle by Dallenberg on the offensive board to get the foul.
Iverson's got a game-high 23, 21 points from Wade, leading the Miami Heat.
You can see what Stan Van Gundy, though, did when he rested Shaq. He put Zoe in to play with Haslam, and now he's got Shaq in to play with Laettner. So he's trying those combinations to see how they're going to work. You got to start figuring out what your rotations are going to become playoff time.
Eddie Jones picked up his 4th personal foul. Iverson to Mark Jackson.
That's a shot he missed the other night against Boston in the critical stage. They love to run that play for him, and they've got great trust that he'll make that shot.
Eddie Jones for 3 in the feed for Dooling, and the rebound by Korver. This game has seen Miami lead by 12 and trail by 7. They go inside. Iverson to Jackson, who is fouled on the play. Miami comes in. Doug, having lost 2 consecutive games and 5 of 9. Philly has won 4 of 5 as Eddie Jones is tagged with his 5th personal foul.
You know, there's this misconception to be a fast break team or a fast break player. You have to be fast. You don't have to be fast. You have to be relentless, and you have to be willing to run on every possession. Mark Jackson does not have great speed, but 3 times now he's beaten guys down the floor just because he's running the floor on every possession. And you have to have the mentality, Kevin, you're not always going to get it, but your running will free up opportunities for other people on the floor. It becomes a chain reaction when you take a defender with you.
Chris Webber comes in for Dallenberg. McKie will leave, and Iguodala will come back in for the Philadelphia 76ers. A look at Eddie Jones. Wade is back in the game for Miami. With the free throw shooting of Philly tonight, Doug, has been right there. 20 of 21. In contrast, Miami 19 of 28.
And Mark Jackson's 10 of 10.
Yeah.
Talk about his great free throw shooting. When your big man can shoot free throw, what a blessing.
Here's Wade, fouled by Webber.
I think that's going to be Webber's 5th.
Yep, you're right.
He's sort of been in the wrong spot at the wrong time tonight defensively.
You know, since he has been playing with the team, not just on the roster, but actually playing, Philly is only 9 and 8.
Well, you know, they struggled when they first got him. And then they went on a nice run. I think they won 5 in a row, and they got hurt on the West Coast against the Lakers. They lost some games, and then they won like 4 straight. So the minute they won some games, and everybody talked about they're better without him. And that's not the case. They need him, but they need him to play within the scheme of what they're trying to do. And, you know, he's used to coming in from a team where he had the ball the entire game, and guys played off of him, and that's not the case here now. Iverson's got it a lot in screen rolls, so they play one style with him when he has it, and then one style with Webber when he catches it. That's a difficult transition for players.
But as we were talking about before, Jim O'Brien told us they're playing through Chris. They want to run that pick and roll for AI, and here's Iguodala into Jackson. Jackson has had a nice little string with the Timberwolves a season ago, and now with Philadelphia, he's back home.
Well, this is a huge last 10 minutes for the 76ers. They lost a game like this to Boston when they couldn't close it out. Count it.
Korver. Doliak has seen some time for Shaq, but Shaq is playing some pretty good minutes here in the second half.
You saw Iverson looking over at Korver. He said, that's okay, great shot, shoot the next one. That's what a leader has to do. He has to encourage his teammates to keep taking those shots. Iverson can't take them all, he needs help.
This is Shandon Anderson down the lane, and Christian Laettner, and a whistle. 3-second violation on the Miami Heat.
A little out of sync.
17th turnover for Miami tonight.
Well, a little out of sync right now. Shandon Anderson in the game does not want to shoot that jump shot. And so as a result, you got guys getting ready normal for rebound position. When the shot doesn't come, you get out of sync. And you see right there the Heat. We talked about the 76ers to win the game, what they have to do. Force turnovers, 17-9. That's why they're in the game.
Philly hasn't led since the 4.5-minute mark of the first half. And they're down by 1, and this shot by Weber for the lead. And here come the boos for Weber, who is 4 of 11 tonight, coming off a 3 of 10 game on Tuesday.
Got to play through it. You got to have, right now, you got to put in earplugs. You cannot listen to that. Win them over with your play.
Well, you know how tough that is. And Shaq inside, don't count it. Foul called on Philadelphia. That is very tough. And I think Weber's a fairly sensitive kid, so he hears every boo.
No question. And he comes in here in a new environment, and obviously you want these fans to love you and take you into their wing or whatever, but they need production. They see him making $20 million a year. They want him to earn every penny and get this team in the playoffs.
Guys, as we have seen, but when they've got them healthy, the people that the architect, Pat Riley, has surrounded the two big guys around have been terrific.
Well, when they're healthy, they'd won 21 straight games. So obviously this is a team that has won big. There's another turnover after they forced a missed shot.
Weber turns it over, and there's 2 the result. And that's a big 2 for Miami, now up by 3 as Weber continues to spiral downward.
Well, confidence is a fragile, fragile thing. And when you lose it, that basket looks so tiny up there, and everything you do is pained.
Weber is 4 of 11. He's got 3 turnovers. Korver for 3. O'Neal with the rebound. 9 points for Weber. And now 23 points off of the turnovers for Miami. Iverson. Iguodala. Wow, that was a heady collision by Wade and Iguodala. Third foul on Wade.
It's a legit question. It's not a shot.
Miami is led by 12. Philadelphia has led by 7. There's the big leads tonight.
Kevin, you were talking about the turnovers. Miami has 19 turnovers. They've given up 21 points. And Philadelphia only 10 for 12. So the difference right now in that game is plus 9 points off turnovers. You look at the numbers. Philadelphia is shooting 39%. And they're only down 3. Miami's shooting almost 53%.
Iverson for 3. That's another 3-ball for Philadelphia. They've gone 9 of 18 shooting threes. Iverson's got a game-high 26. 25 for Wade, leads Miami.
Competitive will and spirit. Will Iverson get them over the top tonight?
And a tie. One of the few times in the game, just the 3rd time we have been tied tonight. We've had 5 lead changes in the game.
Oh, not a good idea there. Tough pass in traffic by Iverson.
Jones for 3. Laettner fighting with Weber for the loose ball, and Chris has it for Philadelphia.
They need good possessions now, good shots at the basket, nothing forced, no turnovers.
Jackson, that was for the lead.
He just doesn't have the lift to go up strong and finish over a player who's trying to block his shot. He's a muscle guy.
Miami 52% for the floor and 39% shooting for Philadelphia tonight. Anderson. And a rebound right through Weber, picked up by Wade, and a foul on Jackson. Weber, you're right, the confidence is fragile, and for him in particular, it is fleeting. That's the 3rd foul on Mark Jackson.
And the ball just gets heavier and heavier. When you're trying to get a rebound, when you're trying to shoot it, you can look at Chris Webber's face, and you can see playing basketball is not fun for him right now. And we've all been there sometimes as players when things aren't going well, and what you have to do is your passion, your energy. You have to come up with all little things to get yourself going. Maybe a loose ball or something that can help your team.
Good fake by Damon Jones, knocked away by Weber. And Wade. Iguodala knocked it away. He's 8th in steals in the NBA. And Wade continue to fight even when it looks like it'd be easier to give up on a play like that when he is just absolutely handcuffed in the lane.
Remember now, he's coming off probably his worst game of the year, where he had 1 field goal against Detroit, 4 turnovers, and just absolutely willed himself to pick that ball up and get to the free throw line.
Iguodala picks up his 3rd personal foul. This will be Wade at the free throw line, a 76% free throw shooter. He takes a lot of attempts, as we talked about before. Tomorrow night on ESPN, the Wizards host the Cavaliers. Lakers take on the Kings. Saturday, NBA TV gives you the Kings at the Suns. Sunday on ABC, the Pistons host the Cavaliers. Miami will host Indiana. Lakers will take on the Dallas Mavericks.
Kevin, if that scoreboard is right, New York beat Cleveland tonight, 95-89 in Cleveland. My next timeout, I'd have one of my assistants write that on the board for the 76ers and go, guys, it's right here for us. Are we going to take it?
Go to number 7. There's a nice shot by Mark Jackson. And the Philadelphia 76ers have their first lead since the 4:30 mark of the first half. Nice comeback by them. They've had some foul problems in the ineffective Weber, who continues to play, and a 3 by Damon Jones for the Miami lead. Weber's got it.
Good possessions now. Execution. We've got to get good shots.
Iverson's got 26. He and Wade have the game-high honors so far. Mark Jackson has played well. He's got 20. And a rebound by Shandon Anderson. Wade around the Alonzo Mourning screen. Wade continues to fight, and he puts it in with Miami up by a point.
What was one of the keys? Keep Wade out of the lane?
Paint, yes, right.
Well, that's why.
Wade's got a game-high 28. Nice steal by Alonzo Mourning. A couple Georgetown guys going head-to-head at different eras, but nonetheless fighting for the same thing. Possession with 5:15 to play in the 4th.
This is where Allen Iverson has got to have that competitive spirit we talked about, but he can't try to do too much in traffic. He's got to trust his teammates down the stretch here, make big plays. The game is right there.
Lost moments ago. Here's the way it happened in the 4th quarter. The Cavs were outscored 25-17. Jamal Crawford with the backbreaker there. And so Cleveland loses at home. And if Philadelphia wins tonight, the Sixers move past them into 7th. Doug.
They'll both be at 40 and 38 if Philadelphia wins, but Philadelphia has beaten Cleveland 3 times this season. They got the tiebreaker, so mathematically, number 7 would be Philly if they win tonight.
That's why you got to win all your games at home. Coming down the stretch, regardless of your opponent, you got to find a way to win. You've got your fans here. It's a 1-point game, a little over 5 minutes to go. You should have the energy and the will to find out what you ever have to do to get this game.
Jackson, Corver, Iverson, Weber, and Iguodala in there. There's a cross-the-lane move by Allen Iverson, who continues to just go all over the floor with the double-double tonight. 28 points and 11 assists. And Philly by 1. 28 by Wade, who's got the ball right now. Zoe is in for Shaq. Dwayne Wade, 30, and Miami is up 92-91.
Who can get 3 minutes of defense? 3 minutes of strong defense will win this game.
Jackson, Iguodala for 3. Oh, and a big shot by the rookie from Arizona. And Philadelphia, Doug, from three-point land, over 50% tonight, 10 of 19.
Miami has 4, so they're plus, 18 at the three-point line? That's the difference in the game. That's why they're winning. Oh, wow, what a rebound by Haslam. Just went over the top of Kyle Korver to tie this game up.
Haslam, 17 points and 8 rebounds.
Shaq getting ready to check in. He and Eddie Jones at the next dead ball.
And Iverson plows. Weber, big shot.
These fans want to cheer for him, Kevin. I'm telling you, they want to cheer. You see Allen Iverson looking at Weber, getting themselves together. They know the importance of this game.
Iverson and Wade off of Miami. That shot by Chris Webber, his first field goal since early in the third quarter.
Iguodala, this is the 10th three of the game for Philadelphia. And here's Webber once again. The penetration, Kenny Smith talked about it at halftime. Allen Iverson gets in the lane at will. Good spacing on the floor, back-to-back jumpers. And the Sixers have a 2-point lead and the ball.
Damon Jones on Iverson. Webber again, can he make it 2 in a row? Nope. And Miami is plus 12 in rebounding tonight.
Take fouls around the basket. You cannot let Shaq lay the ball in the basket late in the game. You've got to give yourself up and you've got to take fouls.
Shaq with 13 points and 11 rebounds after missing the last 3 games with a stomach ailment. Bobbled by Webber. Boy, 4th turnover for Chris. That's a costly turnover on a very important possession.
Well, if Shaq gets a touchdown low again, you cannot let him lay the ball in the basket. You've got to force him to shoot free throws.
Haslam and Dwayne Wade with 32 points and a 2-point Miami lead.
Shaq didn't get the assist, but he made the pass that led to the assist. And it was Haslam diving, catching the ball, and making the pass. Now Miami needs to stop.
Jackson will pick and roll, and they go inside Webber. Nice pass by Mark Jackson.
Absolutely. See, Mark Jackson and Webber both can pass the ball, so they'll be able to spread the floor. You got Iverson getting in the lane. They're going to get good shots. Can they get stops defensively?
Damon Jones. Haslam.
Curveball.
Webber with the rebound. Webber's shoulder is killing him. His left shoulder is really causing him pain. Iverson, Webber. And Iguodala was working inside after he got the loose ball. And a foul is on Shaquille O'Neal for the 3rd time. Dwayne Wade, Doug, has put in a game-high 32 points.
Well, the great pass out of the double team that leads to the dunk. Haslam to Wade. And then it's Webber. No hesitation here. He catches the ball, dunks it over his shoulder. The nice pass. Who is going to execute under pressure in a game that means this much?
Doug, here were some of your keys tonight for the 76ers.
Well, it starts with their defense, their ability to create turnovers. They've done that, 24 points off 19 Heat turnovers. Keep Wade out of the paint. He has 14 paint points. And AI's competitive spirit. This guy needs to will them to victory tonight. 28-12, minute 30 to go. This is his time. Can he find a way to get his team a victory tonight against the Miami team, the best team in the East, after a disheartening loss at home to Boston the other night when they could not hold on to a lead in the 4th period.
Iguodala will be at the free throw line to try to break this 98 all-time. Free throw shooting tonight for Philadelphia has been absolutely terrific. Iguodala has gone 5 of 5. The Sixers have gone 21 of 22. They've made 16 consecutive free throws.
And Miami has missed 10 free throws. Now keep your eye on Damon Jones. Iverson is a roamer, and if he roams around, remember Damon Jones loves to take big threes in this situation. We saw him do it in Sacramento earlier in the year.
Game high 32 for Wade. Here's Jones. He got Iverson to slip, and Eddie Jones for 2 in the lead, or the tie at 100.
Good execution by Miami.
We've had 4 ties and 7 lead changes alone in this 4th quarter. Iverson for the lead. Rebound by Wade.
Haslam did a nice job of getting up and forcing him to take a tougher shot. Then Damon Jones loves to shoot threes in this situation.
Haslam picked up by Webber. Into Shaq, rejected inside by Mark Jackson. And off of Philadelphia with the shot clock at 3.
Stan Van Gundy's going to take a 20-second timeout. This is a big possession. You've got 3 seconds on the shot clock. You get a score here, it puts you up 2 possessions.
Well, this season, Allen Iverson has had some late-game heroics for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, this was earlier in the year against New Jersey. You know, it's interesting, through all his greatness, Allen Iverson had not hit that many game winners. This year, that was not the case. This was Indiana to step through and the score to win the game. Against Washington, he steals the inbounds pass, goes length of the floor, lays it up, and wins in overtime. And then against Toronto, the game-winning shot with 2.4 seconds remaining, 4 game-winning shots. Will we see number 5 here tonight? The scenario is there for him to do it. Will it happen?
And they were saying in the press release, not until this season had he had a game-winning shot, which is shocking.
Well, his numbers this year we talked about as MVP numbers. Right now, it's that MVP heart that he's got ticking. He knows the importance of this game. Cleveland losing, you got a chance, you win tonight, you get the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference going on the road for 2 games.
3 seconds on the shot clock. Wade, Iguodala defending. Oh, and Wade with a spectacular play.
And that was off just a fraction before the shot clock went off.
Jackson and Weber will let them shoot. And that time it cost Miami.
That's great for Chris Weber. Step up and take the shot. No hesitation. You got to shoot it.
Weber's got 6 points in this 4th quarter and 15 points for the game.
About a 6-second differential. Philly gets a stop. They'll get it back to win the game.
Wade for the lead.
We saw that Dwayne Wade hit the game winner against New York earlier in the year. This guy hits big shots. Now the question is, does Philadelphia go for a 2 or maybe some penetration and look for a 3 to take the lead?
Iverson. And fouled as his shot almost dropped. So he'll go to the free throw line, and there he is, 5 of 5 with a Philly high 28 points overall.
Chris Weber finds the open area, takes a peek. Nobody's guarding him. Sometimes the toughest shots to make are when you're that wide open. And then Miami loves this play under pressure. A little step-up screen on the baseline for Wade. And then Iverson follows it right back and throws himself in traffic, almost gets the shot to go. Makes the first free throw, 1-point game. Miami should have the basketball either with the game tied or with a 1-point lead with about 11.5 seconds to go.
Iverson shooting a career high 83% from the line this season. And we are tied with 11.5 seconds to play in regular.
Let's see who they match up with Dwayne Wade. Looks like it's going to be Iguodala. Iverson on Jones. Korver on Eddie Jones.
And Eddie Jones will inbound. And here is Wade. Iguodala, the rookie, defending. And this is for the win. We've got overtime.
That's a great job by Iguodala. Forced him to his left, stayed down on the shot, made him shoot a long jump shot. You couldn't have done a better job. The young rookie met the challenge, forced him to his left here. Now Wade likes to go left, but he likes to go all the way. He pulls back, contests the shot, gets a hand in the face, off right, and Philadelphia lives to play the overtime. Phoenix next week. We're rolling right into the playoffs. This is the most fun time of the year. Which team is going to find a way to get the win? And you say, well, Miami's got the best record in the East. It's not that important to them. Yes, it is. You want to be able to finish ahead of San Antonio and anybody else in case you get to the finals and have a chance to have the home court. You want the home court against everybody you possibly can.
Dwayne Wade has a game-high 36, 30 points for Allen Iverson with 12 assists. Shaq has 13 points and 11 rebounds. A long 3 by Eddie Jones. And a Loose ball foul on Dallenberg, who's got 5.
Look at Allen Iverson. He got both sore thumbs, so he's got the heating pack to keep his hands warm. Towels draped over his legs. His legs can't even stop moving. You see this energy that just bounds out of this guy, knowing how important it is. He wants to get this team into the playoffs.
Haslam to Damon Jones. He sheds the defense of Iverson. Rebound, Iguodala, who is out there with Mark Jackson, Korver, Weber. And here's AI working on Damon Jones with Eddie Jones, Haslam, Shaq, and Wade. Alley-oop, and what a spectacular pass. Allen Iverson nails Iguodala, airborne off the baseline.
What a play. What a play.
Philly is shooting 42%, and Miami is shooting 50% from the floor. Wade with a great fake, and he's got 38.
This is a shootout between two guys who played together this summer over in Athens. So Dwayne Wade learned a lot from Iverson this summer and different things to do, especially late in the game. That crossover dribble that's so deadly.
It's Weber dancing on Haslam. Korver with the two-pointer. And Miami losing the rebound. Jackson took it away from Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal, the fatigue be a factor. Remember, this guy has been out basically 10 days, missed 3 games, down anywhere from 7 to 10 pounds. Played a lot of minutes here tonight. Will his conditioning be a factor?
It's Wade with the Shaq screen. And Eddie Jones for the tie. Picked up by Weber. And a lead to Iverson. Wade is coming, and the handoff goes to Iguodala. And the Philadelphia 76ers have a 4-point lead, their biggest since halftime, and a timeout taken by Miami.
And a great outlet pass by Chris Webber. He led Iverson perfectly, and Iverson did what you're supposed to do. He takes that ball to the front of the rim. This is Iguodala's dunk on the baseline. Dwayne Wade turns his back, but watch, he takes it, he gets 2 defenders up, and then he finds Iguodala running the floor. He finishes it. A 4-point lead for the 76ers, but they can't celebrate too soon. A lot of work to be done.
Allen Iverson had to have his fingerprints all over Philadelphia tonight.
Well, CSI would be investigating this building because he definitely does. I will tell you that they're everywhere. He's getting in the lane, passes over the shoulder, passes behind his back, getting in the air, finding the open man. 14 assists, only 2 turnovers. Spectacular plays, the energy. We saw him in the timeout, and this was a play that gave them a 2-point lead, but more importantly, it was a signature play that gave the team a lot of energy. 30 points, 14 assists, 5 rebounds.
Oh, and the inbound stolen by Allen Iverson. Korver for 3. Oh, what a shot! And what a steal! And Miami is down by their largest deficit, equaling the largest deficit tonight of 7 points.
How about the little guy tonight? Is there a technical foul on this play? What's happened here with Damon Jones? I don't know what happened. Oh, wow.
That's a good time to have that.
Lose your composure now. Still 3 minutes to go. Plenty of time in the game.
Remember, this is a Miami team which has lost 2 straight coming into tonight. They've lost 5 of their last 9. And one of the key components beginning tonight and through the next week was to finish the season as Korver hits the technical free throw. And now Miami trailing by their largest tonight of 8 points. But to get that good feeling back, and as the guys in the studio were saying before the game, get back that rhythm.
Philadelphia tried to pull a rope-a-dope on them. They took the ball and they were going to throw it in. But watch Eddie Jones sort of lays the ball out there. And Damon Jones thought he got held on the play. A 3-pointer by Korver. And those 3-pointers have mounted up tonight. That's been a huge advantage for Philadelphia.
And a 3 by Damon Jones. And that stops an 8-0 Philadelphia run.
Still a 2-possession game, though. That's why you can't lose your composure. Damon Jones, he did come back and hit the 3, but it's a 5-point game. These are the kind of games you're going to be playing in the playoffs.
And it has had that kind of atmosphere here tonight in Philly. It's Jackson. And Iverson out to a wide open Weber, who is Converged upon by Haslam and a 3-second violation on the Philadelphia 76ers.
You can see what Miami's trying to do, though, every time Weber catches the ball. Someone's running at him, Kevin. They know he's a catch-and-shoot player, and they're forcing him to put the ball down on the floor. That time, a 3-second violation. But you see here in overtime, Philadelphia 4 of 5 with 3 assists.
And here is Jones, and he finds Jones. Damon to Eddie. And that is a Weber foul on the edge of the lane, or they put it. Yeah, they got it on Weber, and he's gone. Well, maybe for a second they were looking at somebody else, but they got Weber, and he's out of here.
That was a little bit of a touch foul there in a situation like this.
Well, Weber now getting a nice round of applause.
And
7 of 16, 15 points, and 10 rebounds.
And that's great. These fans need to let him know that they appreciate his effort tonight. It wasn't always pretty, but they'll take 15 and 10 every night from Chris Weber.
Miami is shooting 51%, 43% shooting for the Philadelphia 76ers. And here comes Wade, a game-high 38, and to the rack for 2.
That guy is so explosive getting in the lane. Now it's down to a 3-point game. See, that technical free throw's big, otherwise it's a 2-point game. So that's why you can't do those things, Kevin.
Wade's got a career-high 40 points tonight. Iverson, wide open lane.
You can see Shaq just too tired there to even get out and try to move his feet to get over.
Dalembert is taking the place of Chris Weber. 5-point game, 1:40 to play in OT. Wade. 42. He's terrific.
The question's going to be, can Miami get any defensive stops?
Wade's got 42 points in 48 minutes tonight. And Iverson's got 32 and 52. Nice ball rotation. Corbett, he'll settle for 2. And Eddie Jones in a pile. And a timeout taken by Miami.
See, I don't like that call. And I know it's been forever that the league has done this or whatever, but to me, there was really no possession on that play. A lot of times guys will be scrambling for the ball, and what will happen is the team, because they're on the defensive end, they'll give them the timeout or whatever. I think that should be a jump ball.
Nonetheless, Philly up by 3 with 1:12 to play in OT.
Back-to-back with a team that had a night off and is playing for the home court. So Cleveland's put themselves in a very tough spot.
But Philly has got to win for all that to take place. And here comes Damon Jones. That was deflected out of bounds with 17 seconds on the shot clock. Miami and Stan Van Gundy are fighting for the second-best record in the NBA. Right now, just behind San Antonio. But the Heat having clinched the best record in the Eastern Conference already. It's Wade against Iguodala. And Shaq with his 12th rebound and fouled inside the lane.
That's a good foul. You've got to make Shaq go to the line and make free throws. And this is, this is really probably a good situation for Miami to be in, to be on the road, down 3, Shaq going to the line for a couple free throws, where they need him to step up and make some free throws, come down, get a defensive stop. This is what the playoffs are all about, these kind of situations.
And this is a Miami team which is trying to make some nice headway as they finish the regular season. Dalembert has just fouled out of the game, and the veteran Aaron McKee will come back in.
Look what Jimmy O'Brien is doing. He's going small here. He's going to a small lineup. Look at the plus-minus here tonight. Miami +9 on 2-point field goals made. Philadelphia, they're +18 at the 3-point line and plus 11 points off turnovers, and Miami's on the paint. But
Shaq is 3 of 10 shooting free throws.
Now, Jimmy O'Brien's gone to a small lineup, and what he's done, he's forced Stan Van Gundy to go to a small lineup and come in with Shandon Anderson. So Shaq, the only big guy on the floor for Miami. Mark Jackson, the only big guy on the floor for Philadelphia.
Three of 11. Jackson with the rebound. Jackson a screen. Iverson pick and roll with Mark Jackson.
So that's their money play. People say, why did Mark Jackson take the last 2 shots against Boston the other night? That's why, because they have a lot of confidence that they can roll out and make that shot.
Eastern Conference top seed Miami down by 5 with 40.5 seconds to play in overtime.
Get Shaq involved in the pick and roll. The rotation is too slow getting over. Mark Jackson, a little mid-range shot. Philadelphia, a little breathing room, +5. Still a lot of time.
We're back in Philadelphia, and here is how the current first-round matchups would look in the Eastern Conference, but Philly and Cleveland could be changing spots should Philly win tonight. And remember, the regular season ends in 6 days. Next Wednesday night, it's all over with the playoffs beginning a week from Saturday.
Ken, we were talking a while ago about free throw shooting when Shaq went to the line down 3 with 2 free throws. Look at the free throw shooting tonight for Philadelphia. 25 of 26. And Miami 32 of 24. Shaq is 3 of 11. They've missed 12 free throws. So the difference in the game right now is the free throw line.
22 of 34.
Yeah, 22 of 34.
Steve Smith is in for the first time tonight. Here's Wade. Jones for 3. Eddie Jones fans. Iverson comes up with the rebound. There's a foul by Damon Jones on Allen Iverson. And Philadelphia, Doug, has made 20 consecutive free throws as they approach the line. That's the 3rd foul on Damon Jones of Miami.
And Jim O'Brien just got his team together and he says, guys, Miami has no timeouts. So after Allen Iverson shoots these free throws, they're going to have to push the ball. No, he's not going to be free.
They had a foul to give. One foul to give.
But what he was letting his team know is the minute we get to the foul line, Miami has no timeouts left. Now he's going to shoot free throws.
Yep. They'd actually changed the scoreboard here, and that's why we were thrown off ourselves, but they tagged one back on, and now it is legit. So the board was wrong, and now we'll send Allen Iverson to the free throw line with his 76er team up by 5.
See, Miami plays 5 games in 7 days to finish the season. So they have no practice time from now until the time they get ready to start the playoffs.
Including tonight.
Including tonight, that's 5 of 7. So when I talked to Stan Van Gundy, he says, Doug, we're going to have to use these games to get ourselves into a rhythm. He cannot be happy with the defense. But look, tomorrow night they go to a back-to-back with Boston. Then they're home Indiana, home Charlotte, then at Orlando. Now they're hoping that they will start the playoffs on Sunday and not on Saturday. If they start on Saturday, they'll have one less day of preparation. So, you know, time now starting to be of the essence as you start getting ready for the playoffs.
And Damon Jones, the 3, barely grazes the rim. And that should do it, as I believe they're going to foul. They do. Steven Smith fouls Allen Iverson. This is a big win for Philadelphia. They now have won 5 of their last 6. Doug, 3 of their last 4 at home. Double-double tonight for Chris Webber. In the month of April, Philadelphia, when they need to thrive, have gone 5-2. In the month of April for Miami, they now will drop to 2-3. We've talked about this, trying to get this positive rhythm with Shaq back after missing the last 3 games. This was something they did not want to see tonight.
Well, Stan Van Gundy, one of the things he told his team after they lost to Detroit was, guys, you know what? When we're healthy, we're a team that won 21 straight games. We're a good team. We're a great team. But we've got to get back to playing that way. And they played that way in stretches tonight, but defensively, when they had to, they couldn't get any stops. Well, this guy's been fabulous.
He had a 3.
Whatever adjective you want to throw out there, this guy's been magnificent, fabulous, tremendous.
He's got 45 right now. That is a career high. And O'Neal fouls Mark Jackson, 11.6 to play. Philadelphia will again go 2 games over 500. Interestingly enough, that is as many games over 500 as they have been all season. Never more than 2 games over 500.
Now, let me tell you how crazy this is. You look at your schedule and you're a coach and you go through and you start trying to pick out, I think we can win this one, that's going to be tough or whatever. So you're playing Boston the other night with a chance to pull within 1 game of the Atlantic Division lead. You lose that game at home and you've beaten them 3 times. Then you think, okay, now we've got Miami. We'll probably lose that game, and you win that game. That's why you just have to play them all.
Right.
I mean, and you see Philadelphia's schedule there, and they've got a tough finish. They've got at New Jersey, at Indiana, and then they have 2 games that they've got to be able to win. They come home, and they've got to be able to win games. So I thought that in the last 6 games, they'd go 3-3, but I had them winning against Boston and losing tonight.
So Miami will lose their third consecutive game. Miami has now lost 6 of their last 10. And Mark Jackson, who has been terrific at the free throw line tonight, the big man, 12 of 12, 26. Iverson, 36 and 16 assists. And Wade with a career-high 48 with 6 seconds remaining. And Philly will inbound. It goes to Iverson. Another quick foul by Damon Jones of the Miami Heat. And what this win does, Doug, for Philadelphia, it still keeps them at least in the hunt for an Atlantic Division title, although Boston right now seemingly would have that ice. It's going to be hard to reach.
That's a long shot, but it's still available there.
Still available.
It's still available. It hasn't been closed down on them, but that loss the other night was a 2-game swing.
Right. Well, tonight they're going to move into number 7. Even though the record will be tied with Cleveland, the tiebreaker gives it to Philadelphia.
I'll tell you, put Jimmy O'Brien on some sodium pentothal right now and say, Coach, what do you want? And I guarantee he'd say, I just want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we'll take our chances after that. You know, all this other, just get me in.
Just survive. Iverson with 38. And Damon Jones for 3. Rebound by Korver, and that'll do it in a big-time win for the Philadelphia 76ers. They score a season-high 126 in beating the top team in the Eastern Conference, Shaq and Miami. 126 to 119 as Damon Jones has to be escorted off the floor after he has some words with the officials. Third consecutive Miami loss, and tonight they welcome back Shaquille O'Neal after he had missed the last 3 games. Philadelphia goes to 40.
Said obviously this was a huge game for you guys. You guys got the win. You just finished huddling. What was said in it?
Oh no, we was just praying. That's what we do after every game.
So you got an answered prayer right there in tonight's game.
Definitely. But we just got to thank him for just enabling us to come out here and being able to play and everybody be healthy and get out of the game all right.
You know, describe the last play, because I think the key to it was a steal on the out of bounds that you got, and then the setup for Kyle Korver with the 3-point shot.
Just threw it in, and you know, I just did one of my sneaky veteran moves. You know, I can't give up the secret, but I was able to steal it, and Cal was